Hey everybody, it's time for Delivering Marketing Joy. On this episode, we talk with David Shultz about collaboration, partnerships, and why he should be in a rock band. Hey there, and welcome to another edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. I'm your host, Kirby Hasseman, and this time joining me, I'm very excited to welcome David Shultz. David's the VP of Operations for DistributorCentroid. So David, thank you so much for joining.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Kirby.
No problem. So, with DistributorCentroid, one of the things I was thinking about with you, I think nearly all successful businesses have some level of collaboration and partnership, but I kind of feel like that's the cornerstone of DistributorCentroid. How do you manage everybody's different interests? How's that work?
Well, I do believe it is the cornerstone of DistributorCentroid. I mean, we've been around now for about 15 years, and really ever since we started, it was much of a collaboration between us and suppliers and distributors who were kind of our first customers. And so we spent a lot of time in the early days trying to figure out how to create a centralized product database, and that took working with suppliers in apparel, suppliers in printing, paper products, jewelry, everything else, mugs. And so we had to come up with a way to create a database that could handle all of those products. And, 15 years later, I'm not sure if we have it exactly right, but it's going in the right direction. And so, really we spend a lot of time talking to our customers and talking to suppliers and distributors in the industry and participating in industry events. Tiffany, our Vice President of Sales, is very active with the regional association and at the RAC level with PPAI, and then Jason, our president, sits on the technology board. And so we've tried to spend more and more time out in the community as we've built up our development staff back in the office, and we don't have to do all the coding, actually go out and spend more time visiting with people in the industry and find out what they need and where we need to go and figure out our direction kind of that way.
Yeah. You've got the heck of a great, product, and I would think that, just as you collaborate more and more, it's going to make it even better, I would assume.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the industry's done a lot better at collaborating as a whole, too. I mean, you see, after NALC last week, we sat through the Tech Summit for a couple of days, and the amount of cooperation between even competitors in the industry now is pretty impressive, and people are pulling together standards to standardize the way we transmit inventory data or orders or product data. And so the industry as a whole has come a long way in the last 10 years in terms of collaboration and sharing methods to streamline and reduce friction in the industry.
Yeah, I totally agree. That has really changed in recent, for the better.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you guys are obviously in the technology space, and I'm always fascinated by that in the sense that it's constantly changing, in any industry. So so how do you stay on top of the trends and then decide which one of those trends, which one of those new widgets to act upon to make your product or your business more successful?
Yeah, it's tough. And like I said, we spend a lot of time out of the office these days talking to the customers and seeing what they need. But there's many times in our history where, we threw everybody at one feature, whether it's a web-to-print feature or virtual sampling or something that was the end-all be-all at that point in time. And then we had 8,000 other customers that didn't really care about that feature. And so it's always kind of a juggling act, trying to figure out who needs what, focus on the things that are going to help our customers best, and prioritize that way. So it's always a constant juggling act, but we've gotten a lot better at it over the years.
Yeah, your point's great, is really trying to connect with the actual customer, the people who are using the site, and that's the best way to try and make decisions on what to do. It's a great point. Yeah. So in doing a little research about you, you and I just met recently.
Yep.
At the ALC that you'd mentioned. And so as I try to do with each person, try to learn a little bit more, do a little stalking online.
It's a little creepy.
But you're into, I noticed triathlons and music, and that caught my attention because I'm into, that sort of thing. But the question I guess I came to was, why is it important to have interests like that outside of business?
Well, everybody's got to have something to do when they're not focused entirely on work. And, all of us probably spend way too many hours at work or thinking about work. So, I have the two things outside of work, the triathlon and the running and biking and everything, like you and a number of other people in the industry that are runners and bikers and swimmers and everything else. It's for health and for fun. It's a great stress reliever to get up, go out in the morning, go for a run, go for a swim, go for a bike. And recently it's actually turned into a great way to network too. Last 2 years, I guess, we've been doing it 2 years now. Before the PPAI show in Las Vegas, we have taken a group of people mountain biking up in the mountains. We had 2 of us 2 years ago, and this year I think we had close to 20 maybe. And it poured rain and it was cold, but everybody had a blast. It was a great way to get out of the office and meet some people that you might not otherwise meet before everybody stands in their booth for the next 3 days. So that's kind of, and I wasn't a runner or biker growing up. I was a competitive swimmer all through high school, and I took up running in my 20s, mainly for health and socializing aspects of it, and to work off that ultimate beer you're going to have at the end of the run or the bike ride, right? So that's kind of where that came about. The music side is more of the, I need to forget about software for a while and do something creative. And so, I've been playing in bands off and on for most of my life. So that's why Nashville and NALC was a lot of fun, to get to see some other live music.
Oh yeah, that was some great live music there. Holy cow.
Yeah. A lot of talent down there. Little more than you've got here.
I get it. Well, cool, man. Thanks for joining me. You've answered my 3 questions. Everybody gets a chance to ask me one. So fire away.
All right. Well, I read your book, Delivering Marketing Joy, and you talk about the 3 R's of advertising: reach, recall, and reaction. And we get a lot of people ask us about, well, we all know about promotional products and the effectiveness of actual promotional products, but another means that people ask us about whether they should have on their websites is video content. And obviously you have a lot of video content out there, and that's how I recalled you before I ever actually met you in person. So the question is, how has that helped you in terms of your business and reaching out to people and having them recall your name when it comes to, whether it's selling them promotional products or delivering marketing joy via videos or whatever it might be?
Yeah, I mean, great question. I think video in today's video's always been important, not always, but obviously in recent history has been important. I think it's never been more important than it is today. One of my favorite stats is that people will remember 20% of what they hear, 30% of what they see, and 70% of what they hear and see. So if you're not utilizing video to tell your story, I think you're really missing the boat. Now, I think that there's different ways to do it, right? You can do your basic product videos, which I think some suppliers do a good job on that. I mean, that's something I think that we can always expand upon. But yeah, from a distributor standpoint, gosh, if it were me, and I say if it were me, but we are doing this, we're trying to take the time to actively showcase through video the products that we're most excited about. And I always tell people, you can always tell the products that I'm most excited about because they have my name on them. And so, by you standing there and kind of giving an actual description of not only do you like it, it's got your name on it, but also how you use it within your own business, I think it has a lot of power. Because essentially you're taking that presentation that you make to a customer, but you're doing it at scale. So in answer to your question, I think it helps with all of the 3 R's. And actually it helps on some of the ways that maybe promotional products have weaknesses. Reach is one of our weaknesses as a promo industry. Video can help with that in a big way. So
right.
Absolutely, I'm a big believer.
Good. Well, actually, one of your videos last week on I forget which one it was. It was 6 promotional products that everybody in sales needs to use, and I think I immediately got online and we ordered a couple displays for Distributor Central for upcoming tabletop type shows. So thanks for that.
Yeah, Pete Langdon and Showdown.
Maybe Showdown
Display
should
be thanking you for that.
Well, cool. Well, David, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely.
And we'll have to do it again sometime.
Yeah, sounds great. I appreciate it. Thanks, Kirby.
Absolutely. That wraps up another edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. We will see you next time.
Hey, thanks for watching, but wait! Can you do me a favor? Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it already. The way to do it's right over here. And hey, if you want to watch the last episode, check that out over here. Again, before you leave, subscribe!